We all know that relations between England and Germany were not at their best at the time of the crash, 13 years after the Second World War. But I have the impression that in the darkest of days for Manchester United, the selfless support and great sympathy offered by Munich, in particular the German doctors at the Rechts der Isar Hospital, the residents in Trudering-Riem here, and also FC Bayern München, made an important social-political contribution to restoring a normal and therefore improved relationship.
Ayo Onabolu is in the studio. Of course, it's time to talk basketball. Ayo, good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Yes, good to have you again. The last time we had you around, I think they just did the draw for the Commonwealth Games.
That's right.
Now we're having you back. It's about the draw again, but this time for the FIBA Women's World Cup. And Group D, beg your pardon, Nigeria, Australia, Argentina, and Turkey. Cecilia described that group as decent. I don't know what your own take on that one.
You know, when the draw was made, my first impression was, wow, this is a good group. But then I went back to do some research, and I realized that it's a lot tougher than it appears on paper for so many reasons. One is the fact that 3 of the 4 teams there are ranked in the top 20 according to FIBA. I'm talking about Australia, Turkey, and Argentina, 4th, 7th, and 15th.
Right.
But then it goes even tougher because the 4th team, Nigeria's D-Tigress, are the reigning African champions. And trust me, if there is a team you don't want to really face at their prime, it has to be the champions of an entire continent. And so it could easily pass as the group of death. Maybe Group A will be the tough one because all 4 teams are in the top 20. You know, so it's crazy. But then I don't think there's a lot to fear about because when you look at the time we have between now and September when the tournament will take center stage in Tenerife, it's a lot of time to prepare psychologically, emotionally, and then get the ladies to camp in time, you know, just to get a good show. It's going to be pretty interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely, because when Ufomu Udoka was talking, you know, on Sports Night last night, she talked about the fact that there's always this preparations, which is a normal thing. But if they can really do it this time around, start early, then there's really nothing to fear.
Absolutely. You know, the good thing is when they were preparing for AfroBasket last year, they had a mix. The Nigerian contingent, the ladies who play locally, are gathered at the National Stadium. They spent a lot of days under the watchful eyes of Sam Vincent, incredible coach he is. And then at the end of the season, for the ladies abroad, they all came and joined the team. And they were able to, you know, have a good mix of foreign-based players who are the more experienced ones, no disrespect to the local ones, but then the very outstanding ladies who play here in Nigeria did a phenomenal job together. And in terms of playing quality, I think we have them. We have ladies who play in Spain. We have a lady who plays in Israel. We have ladies who play in America. So we have ladies who have played all year round with the very best hands in the world. And so when it comes to joining forces with the local ones who, I mean, the league is not yet on, hopefully, maybe from April we'll have, I mean, especially when the crisis is all done and dusted, we'll have a functional league. And we can get some players also to merge with the foreign-based ladies and we'll have a good show. Evelyn Akato was phenomenal at the AfroBasket in 2017. And I tell people one thing that worked for us in that tournament, we didn't win the tournament on the strength of our offense. We won on the strength of our defense. Evelyn Akato spearheaded the defense, especially down low. And Atoye in Gifa, they were absolutely phenomenal. They were pit bulls. Nothing was going through inside. They restricted teams to playing outside. If you build on that, I think great things can happen. And then the route to, you know, going all the way to the final, since the format of the World Cup changed 4 years ago in Israel, in Turkey, is the fact that 3 teams will qualify from each group. We are 4.
Which
Come
is
on.
cool.
Are you kidding
So there's
me?
no way we'll not get to
We
the
should
quarter.
be able to pick
Get
one of those 3. I mean, Australia looks very solid.
Right.
But then look at Argentina. This is going to be their 9th appearance. Their best ever run in the World Cup was at inception, 1953 in Chile, when they finished
a long
6th.
time ago.
Turkey are an emerging country, and I
fear them.
Really,
yes,
I fear Turkey.
Same here.
I mean, 2011 in the Eurobasket for women, they finished as second. 2013, they won bronze, and then they've not been to the Olympics before, and then they hosted the World Cup 4 years ago in Turkey. They finished 4th. That's probably the team I'm really worried about. But come on,
right?
So you're thinking
confirmation of the group again: Cecilia, Australia, Turkey, Argentina, Nigeria. Nigeria are 34th in the world. But the rankings really shouldn't. I mean,
it's what happens on the floor.
Yeah, it's what happens on the floor. We shouldn't really read much into that particular one. You talked about
to Group A.
Okay, the other groups, obviously, yeah. So not only Nigeria is involved in this competition. There's Korea, Greece, Canada, and France.
That's the subgroup that you talked about. Okay.
Why have you chosen it as that?
I mean, all 4 teams are in the top 20. You hardly find this in any sports tournament in the world where, I mean, it's like having Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, Andy Murray, and maybe who? Marin Cilic in one group in the World Tour Finals. That's criminal. That's almost criminal.
See, everyone is going to get out from the group, but I think everyone might just be tipping Greece and France. But then, if you look at Group C, how tough is this one? Japan, Puerto Rico, Belgium, and Spain. You have the host nation in here.
Yes, and they are the 2nd-ranked team in the world. They are favorites to qualify. Japan also belong in the top 20, but Puerto Rico and Belgium are making their debut at the World Cup. So it makes it very interesting. I would go for Spain to automatically win the group and go straight to the quarterfinals. But then what happens amongst those other 3 is left to be seen. It will be very, very interesting.
Huge battle. We'll go to Group D now, final group of it. And there's where you have Senegal and USA, and of course Latvia, and you also have China. Former champions are here.
USA
Perennial.
have won the group.
Okay,
they will not win the group. They've won the group already.
Okay, now let's talk about the other one. China, of course, will follow.
I love Senegal.
Okay.
Astou Traoré is my lady anytime. She's 37, she'll be 38 this year, but she plays like she's 20.
Exactly.
Shoots from outside, plays very well down low. She's an incredible rebounder for her age. And I think Latvia and China will have their work cut out, but then you have to give credit to the Chinese.
Right.
When you look at what they've done with sports over the last 15 years, you can't really rule them out.
Can't rule China out.
So Latvia is just the underdog here. So you're going to be having USA already out, China, then Senegal, all through.
I hope so. For the sake of the Africanness.
Let's come back to Nigeria. I mean, the debut, 2006, a long time ago, lost all matches.
And finished 16th.
Right, okay, yeah, good. 16
we know, yeah.
Yeah, because classifications
was in that.
Upe Atoso is on record as saying, okay, Nigeria can win her first game at the FIBA World Cup this time around. Just one. She didn't just stop there. She now says they can go and actually, go deep in the competition. So she's already looking ahead of winning just one game, going far. How far do you think this the D-Tigers can go? All things being equal, good preparations, having all the players that went to the AfroBasket coming after reinforcements and all that. How far do you think they can go?
I mean, the patriotism in me will say we can go as far as the semi-finals, But very objectively, it's a long, long road, trust me. Teams are looking at Nigeria as, we don't know the kind of Nigeria that can show up, but it's left to the girls to really go on the floor and, show exactly what stuff they're made of. Like I said, we have a great foundation already. Winning the AfroBasket with little or no offense, pretty much living their lives on defense, I thought was the best thing to happen to Nigerian basketball in a long, long time. And now if they can work on great ball movement, ladies who shoot the basketball begin to shoot at a high level, good things can happen. If we get to the quarterfinals, I will be satisfied. Trust me, I will be more than satisfied.
Yeah, quarterfinals.
From not winning at all to get into the
quarterfinals. I mean, that's getting out of the group.
That's to finish top 3, and then if you finish 2nd or 3rd, hope to beat your opponent from Group A. And make it to the quarterfinals. I'll be fine.
Why not?
Why not?
Well, I think they can actually go that far because, if you check the way they played, in that Afro Basketball Championship, when we know they didn't really have much of the time, but they just went ahead, went there, came back with the trophy, and the dancing, and, if each time you see this clip, you just know that, yes, these guys are hungry for more. You know, hungry for more in the sense that not just going there to compete when they make their debut, but not to play, but this time around to compete among the very best in the world. So hopefully they can get something really cool and wonderful out of the AfroBasketball Championship.
Absolutely.
If they can do that, then at the World Cup, it will be a plus, right? Quarterfinals.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, look, Evelyn Akato, like I said, one of the best. She plays in the WNBA, by the way, drafted 3rd overall last year. Nkechi Akashili, I like her because she's a pure shooter of the basketball. Her mid-range game is probably the best in Africa, maybe.
That you've seen.
With that left hand, goodness. Sniper. Upe Atosu is an incredible point guard.
Yeah,
I think she doesn't even get enough credit for the kind of work she does.
She does.
On both ends of the floor, offensively, defensively.
Right?
Yeah, she can shoot the 3-ball very well. She can drive to the cup, create opportunities for her teammates. If they get the offense right, I have no doubt that big things can happen in Spain. I don't know where this... I'm not too confident when it comes to Nigerian teams. You know,
but you just have the special one.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they get it right, good things can happen.
Yeah, and I hope they get to play some major friendlies. That will also be a step for them, not just being in camp, because people describe just staying in camp for a long time and cohesion and blending as more like fitness. Yeah. But then when you face an opposition, I mean, you know where to work on your weaknesses and all that, and it gives you an extra strength when you now face a country that is so tough and all that. You can draw from that energy of beating another team before. Remember,
they played some guys like 2-3 times
before
they went to the AfroBasket. And I was talking to Mfon, why would you let ladies play with guys? And she said, look, the body jamming is good for endurance, for physicality, stamina. And they told the guys, don't play them like you're playing against ladies. I mean, they play them like you're playing men in a finals game. You know what I'm saying? You know, and to be honest, the toughness was obvious. We don't have size, you know, like some other African countries like Mozambique, Angola. We don't have the size. But what we lacked in size, we made up for in strength and toughness, especially under the rim. Teams who scored points against Nigeria had to do it from beyond, from 3-point line, from the mid-range. But you want to punish Nigeria down low, regardless of the fact that we don't have very tall players, you will have bruises if you have to do that. The good thing is, make your opponents work for every single bucket they get in the game, and you'll be fine.
Okay. That's the bottom line. Hopefully they can do that. We just can't wait. September 22nd, that's when it's starting. 30th, it's all over. So that's based off the time. We'll see what D-Tigers can bring.
Exactly. Still a bit of time left, obviously. We have a call of the team, basically, the team that went to Mali, the champions. Have you, I mean, you're a scout as well, right? Have you seen any other Nigerian basketball player out there that, you know, that can bring something extra to the side?
I am very sure now that the team manager, Mfon Udoka, working with the coaching crew, are looking, you know, outwards to see if there are other ladies they can bring in to add to the competition for places in the team. Okay? But there's a lot of age, which is why I'm not too sure I'll be completely in support of going to bring somebody from an obscure place. Give them opportunities. There are ladies in the local league too. I can mention 5 off the top
local,
of my head.
international, like you mentioned,
I mean, if you give them the opportunity, they are well mentored. They can. I mean, look at First Bank, for goodness sake. That team alone. I mean, I can name 6 players. I mean, there's a lady I am so much in love with on a basketball level, Deborah Nwakama. I think when it comes to shooting the basketball, she's as good as shooting gets. I saw at the Women's Basketball League,
the
in the final game, there were 2 moves she made that will never leave my memory forever. The first one was on the right side of, you know, the 3-point line. Time was running down on the shot clock. All she needed was a little space created by a teammate. I think it was Nkema Kara who set the screen for her. And she beat her marker off the screen, drove to the right. There was still a little space for her to shoot the 3-ball. The second one was ridiculous. It was 3 seconds left on the shot clock, you know. And she was at the left corner. You know, the distance from the touchline to the 3-point arc at the left corner is so short. Yet she was able to beat her marker, and she did a step back 3-pointer at that little space, and the ball went down as the shot clock expired. I was like, what?
It's not just
Are you kidding me? How many guys do it in the NBA? Really, how many guys do it in the NBA? This is some grown man move right here. You know, if you give those ladies opportunities,
a lot of talent.
They can do a lot of things.
A lot of talent in that side, definitely. We need to go on a break, though. But when we come back, Our discussion will continue on the FIBA Women's World Cup. We're looking at the NBA as well.